Hey guys, welcome back to Walking with Jesus Daily. We are in day 28. This is going to be the milk portion of our lesson. And I'm just going to encourage you to, I've already spent some time in prayer. That is going to be the most important thing that you're going to do for the whole day. If you're not talking with Him, it's hard to found your day in His love. It's hard to gain a relationship with Him if you're not talking with Him. It's also difficult if you're not listening. So if you are too busy to pray, if there are too many things going on for you to have time to pray, you might want to think about if maybe there's too many things going on in your life for you to walk in the way that that God has set before you, the way that He designs you to be. Satan's goal is to distract you, like I'm being distracted right now. We are already a minute in, and I haven't started reading yet. So we're in Matthew chapter 2. I'm so encouraged because we had such an incredible class last night, talking about righteousness and blamelessness and how there's just a lot. And we had a great discussion on what it looks like to God. So we got down to 1 John 1, 5 to the end of the chapter. Just, if there's nothing else that you do after this for the rest of the day, just look that up. 1 John 1, chapter 1, verse 5 to the end of the chapter. And then take a look at your life and see who or what you are. Be honest. But here we go. We are in Matthew chapter 2. This is going to be interesting because this is actually happening well after the time of the birth of Jesus. We don't have information here of what's taken place since the purification, since we've already got the shepherds that came. We've already got Simeon and Anna. There's a lot of things happening, but what I'm trying to get at is this did not happen at the same time. I know the nativity scenes show the three wise men and the shepherds and all of them being together, and they weren't even close. But let's read. All right, Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king. So they're very specific about this, that Herod was still the king, meaning that this was still in BC. And we'll talk about BC and AD and all that, but truth is, Jesus was born probably about 4 to 6 years before he was born, before 0. Anyway, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. Interesting. Saying, where is he who has been born King of the Jews? Where is he? This is not a good question to ask if you're asking the current King of the Jews. Okay? For we saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him. Wise men from the east of the Jordan, way over, probably a very long journey that these people were on. We'll go into this more in the meat section. But a very long journey. It's hard telling if these were Jews that have been through all of the many different times that the Jews were conquered by different kingdoms and spread all over the place. It's hard telling if these wise men were Jews, if they were just people that had the Hebrew writings. We don't know. But we know they studied the stars. And we know that they saw something different. And they know that, we know that when they went through and studied it, that this star was the star of the King of the Jews that was prophesied. It says, we saw his star when it rose, as in it wasn't there, but it is there now. And we have come to worship him. All right, let's go. We have come to worship him. We saw the star. We know this is new and different, and now we're here to worship him. That's a tough one to take on. To worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. How much clout did these wise men have? How much belief did people have in what they said? This is a lot. This is a lot to take in. We've got to put ourselves in the spot or in the position of both Jerusalem and of these wise men. It says, and assembling all the chief priests and scribes of the people, okay, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. This is different. King Herod is looking intently because he's troubled. He's bothered by this. These men have made a huge journey. These men are obviously convinced of what they've found. They have come to bring gifts and to worship the King of the Jews. Now look at the two differences here real quick. I know this isn't the meat section, but just look. We don't worship kings. We worship the King. We don't worship earthly things, only heavenly, spiritual things. Even though we worship a lot of earthly things. Let's just be real. What actual worship looks like. But in this case, Herod has everybody searching, all of his scribes who know the word up and down, all of the chief priests who are supposed to be aware of this. He's probably angry. Why didn't you guys see this, right? He's asking them. He knows this star. He knows this star. He knows that what we're talking about here is the Christ. We're talking about the Messiah. The problem is everybody still sees him, including King Herod, as an earthly king. He's not an earthly king. He's not a worldly king. When, and that's sad is, even if he was and is, and he's the promised one and the Messiah, Herod's like, I don't think so. It's my throne. I'm going to sit on it, and then I'm going to choose who comes in after me. This is the thinking of a king. And because of this, this is what he sets out to do. Find where the Christ is to be born. And the wise men are saying, we are going to the Christ. We are going to worship him. Now, two completely different plans. Let's keep reading. I'm sorry. The scribes and the chief priests, after they looked, they told him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet. So they know Bethlehem. The star was over Bethlehem. And you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people. It is really cool because Bethlehem is the city of David, and it's in the land of Judah, and not considered a great city other than being known as the city of David. The ruler coming from Bethlehem is not a ruler for this world. It's a ruler to overcome this world. It's a ruler to defeat this world. If Herod knew who Jesus truly was, like the wise men did, he would be going and protecting him. He would be going and worshiping him himself. Verse 7. Then Herod summoned the wise men secretly. Never good when you do things in secret. Secretly, except for when Jesus was talking to Nicodemus, but whatever. The wise men secretly, and ascertained from them what time the star had appeared. This is important in the timeline. He wanted to know when the star appeared. These astrologers saw this star a long time ago. Looked it up, researched it, made sure it was what they thought it was. Because they're not going to make a journey this long. They're not going to bring gifts. They're not going to do the things that they've done and come in and say the things that they've done if it's not true. Verse 8, and he sent them to Bethlehem. Now Herod is sending it. He's acting like he's going along. Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word that I too may come and worship him. This is the order of a king. The wise men were under the order of a king. The king of that land. After listening to the king, sorry, I know we're at 11 minutes, hang with me. After listening to the king, they went on their way. And behold, the star that they had seen when it rose, times before, when it rose, went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. All I can think of is like a pillar of fire at night that guided Israel, but whatever. The star guided them, okay? It went before them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if there's a star with a spotlight coming straight down over where Jesus was. I really don't know. But I know that they knew. I know that they followed it. And I know that it led them. When they saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. Have you ever rejoiced exceedingly with great joy? And going into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell down and worshipped him. Now, Jesus, we'll finish this up. Jesus, probably about 2 years old, is what our guess is, based off timelines, based off of all kinds of things. Can you imagine 3 wise men walking in, getting on their knees, bowing down in worship to your toddler? Okay, that's what's happening. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And we will talk about what these 3 gifts symbolize in the meat. And being warned in a dream. Oh, what is happening here? Is another angel visit? I don't know. But I know they're warned in a dream not to return to Herod. Do not do what the king has asked you to do. They departed to their own country. Love you, Holly. To their own country by another way. They went around. This dream must have been powerful because they took the long way home. They didn't do what the king asked. Interesting. All right. We'll dig into the meat next time.